President Bola Tinubu has inaugurated the Presidential Committee on Fiscal Policy and Tax Reforms. The inauguration ceremony was held at the State House in Abuja on Tuesday. The Special Advisor to the President on Special Duties, Communications and Strategy, Dele Alake, in a statement on July 7th, announced the establishment of the committee by the President. Alake noted that the committee would be chaired by fiscal policy partner and Africa tax leader at Price Waterhouse Coop, Taiwo Oyedele. The committee comprises experts from both the private and public sectors and will be responsible for various aspects of tax law reforms, fiscal policy designs and coordination, harmonization of taxes, and revenue administration. The various taxes administered by the three tiers of government are to be harmonized in a fresh move to incentivize compliance and increase tax revenue. The chairman of the Joint Tax Board, Mr. Mohammed Nami, disclosed this at the meeting with the chairman of State's Internal Revenue Boards in Abuja. The theme of the meeting was harmonization and codification of taxes at the national and subnational levels, keys to achieving a tax-friendly environment in Nigeria. Mr. Nami said President Bola Tinubu was determined to ensure necessary steps were taken to encourage more Nigerians to comply with their tax obligations, which has been identified as the panacea to raising tax revenue. Mr. Nami, who is also the chairman of the Federal Inland Revenue Service, said the organization would protect small businesses while making sure that informal sector operators were brought into the tax net. Earlier, the chairman, Presidential Fiscal Policy and Tax Reform Committee, Mr. Taiwo Oyedele, pointed out that multiple taxation was causing low tax morale in the country, as well as discouraging investment, while creating room for corruption and making doing business difficult. And moving on, the Nigerian trade worth about $226.34 million is at risk of breaking down following a border closure between the two countries. The recent border closure by Nigeria with Niger following a military takeover that overthrew President Mohamed Bazoum's democratically elected administration is negatively affecting trade between both countries. The acting Comptroller General of Customs, Bashir Adeniyi, recently announced that because of current conditions in Niger, the border had been blocked, with certain locations becoming off-limit to travel. Adeniyi said the decision to close the borders and restrict activities was taken by the Economic Community of West African countries, and according to the International Trade Center, imports and exports between Nigeria and Niger in 2022 totaled $226.34 million, as Nigeria imported $33.43 million worth of goods and exported goods worth $192.91 million to Niger. The Nigeria-Niger Republic Railway project may be at risk after the rupture of the diplomatic ties between Nigeria and Niger following the July 26 coup, in which President Mohamed Bazoum was ousted from office by a military officer led by General Abdulrahman Tichiani. This came as over 1,000 trucks conveying goods worth over 350 million naira to Nigeria. Other West African nations have remained trapped at the borders for over 1 week following the closure of the respective gateways to the two neighboring countries. The federal government and the Nigerian junta had ordered the immediate closure of all land borders between the two countries after the political development in the landlocked country. In 2021, the federal government revealed its plan to construct a 284-kilometer rail line to the Niger Republic. And according to the former Minister of Transport, Rotimi Amechi, the project will cost the country about $2 billion and will be funded by Nigeria through loans from external sources. Earlier in March, the Muhammad Buhari administration agreed to release an additional 454 billion naira in public funds to continue the construction of the Kano-Niger Railway and other capital projects. And also, the completion date of the 11,000 megawatts power project signed between the federal government and German-based Siemens has been shifted to 2030. In 2019, the Director General of the Bureau of Public Enterprises, Alex Oko, on behalf of the federal government had signed the agreement, while the Global Chief Executive Officer of Siemens, Joe Kasser, signed on behalf of Siemens to achieve 7,000 megawatts of reliable power supply by 2021 and 11,000 megawatts by 2023. However, a report by Bloomberg on Monday, quoting the head of business development and government relations at Siemens Energy, Oladayo Orolu, said the company expected to complete the project by 2030 due to delay caused by the coronavirus pandemic. Orolu said the three-phase project was set back by delays in starting the first phase. And according to him, when the project was conceptualized in 2018, the plan was that within 2 years, they should be done with phase 1. But COVID-19 happened, disrupting supply chains, which meant getting raw materials took longer than before. The World Bank Clean Technology Fund and the Dutch Corporation are to finance the $338.7 million US dollars, that is 254 billion naira, at the official exchange rate of 750.6 naira, solar power projects in Nigeria and other countries in West Africa. Parties in the deal are providing the fund to support the implementation of the regional off-grid electricity access projects for countries under the Economic Community of West African States. A statement from ECOWAS in Abuja on Monday said it had engaged a consortium of firms to provide technical and financial assistance to companies in the off-grid solar PV sector and financial institutions in the 19 project countries as part of measures to implement the ROG EAP project. It said the support was not only to the private sectors, but also to commercial banks and microfinance institutions in the countries covered by the project in support of the project's management units based in Abuja and Lome. On the monetary value of the project and its sponsors, ECOWAS, it said the project worth $338.7 million US dollars is financed by the World Bank, the Clean Technology Fund, and the Dutch Corporation. A jet belonging to the air component of Operation Delta Safe has bombed 3 boats while allegedly stealing crude oil from a pipeline in Rivers State. The jet struck the boats during one of its operations conducted around a riverine area between Bonny Island and south of Port Harcourt on Saturday. The NAF Director of Public Relations and Information Air Commodore Edward Gabquet said the crew discovered and destroyed an active illegal refining site with tanks and reservoirs loaded with suspected illegal refined products at the Idama area of Rivers. Gabquet said this is not the best of times for all thieves and their accomplices in the Niger Delta region of Nigeria, as the air component of Operation Delta Safe continues to strike at the heart of the activities. It said the airstrikes became necessary after 3 boats were sighted tapping crude oil from a pipeline and flying towards Port Harcourt. The crew also observed an active illegal refining site with tanks and reservoirs loaded with suspected illegal refined product about 4 miles southeast of Idama in Rivers State. And I'll not forget you're watching, or you can follow us on our social handle and subscribe to our YouTube channel on iBrandTV, and also follow and join us live on our Facebook page on iBrandTV Media. iBrandTV is on Instagram as iBrandTV and can be followed on Twitter at iBrand_TV. And you can watch iBrandTV on StarTimes channel 143.